This is. I'm not gonna lie to you, lot. This is shit. That's what this is. Yeah, because how many times am I gonna watch the same Manchester United game over and over and over again? It's the same old story. Same old story. I'll be so real. Again, we dominate, we create chances, we take the lead, and then we throw it away. We throw it like it means nothing. Generally, like we just throw away. We're throwing away games now, like they don't even mean anything to us. I'm actually tired of it. Wallah. I'm actually tired of it. 1-1 to West Ham again. Another game where we've just basically given up the opportunity to take top four. We've gifted away 2 points. Just like that. We said, yeah, have it. It's the same old story, and I'm starting to get really, really tired. I'm not gonna lie to you, there's a lot that I want to unpack in this game. But in general, bro, I've seen enough. That's the point I've gotten to now with Ruben Amorim, with this team. I've seen enough, and generally, I don't see how things improve. This team is handicapped. There's a limit to how much this team can achieve under this manager, and the way he's setting us up in these games, and the way he's handicapping this team. And when I say handicap, I mean playing people out of position, not playing people in their favorite roles. Being fixated on this system, which then ultimately leads to misprofiling players. Ahmad playing a wing back, Bruno playing too deep. I just don't think those sacrifices, yeah, and handicapping those players in that way is worth it anymore. Because if I was seeing patterns of play, if I was seeing us playing very, very good football, right, and I was seeing us dominating matches, I'll be like, you know what, fair enough. At least he's cooking something. At least he's giving us something for me to be like, you know what, this can work. This can work. And in long term wise, I can see us maybe, getting better players and then going on to, maybe potentially winning Premier Leagues or Champions League, but I don't see that. What I see is players just being played out of position. What I see is hoofball. What I see is a lot of crossing, inshallah. And we're just basically relying on individual moments. We're waiting on those individual brilliance from whatever player, maybe whether it's a Bremo, whether it's Bruno, it doesn't really matter. We're just waiting for those moments to basically win us football matches. So we're going from game to game, waiting on players like Bruno, players like Mbeumo, players like Ahmad to basically bail us out game after game. Just like in Crystal Palace where we had those two individual brilliant moments from Xerxes and Mount. That's what we're basically relying on to win football matches. That's what it's got into. We're hoofing the ball, we're crossing the ball, nothing really comes off it. We're getting half chances here and there, but that's what this has come to now. For what? So we're sacrificing our best players. We're putting our best creative player, are probably the player with the highest output, not just in this team, but in the league. We're forcing him to play deep. And we got a special talent in Ahmad, and we're forcing him into the wing-back position. We got a right-footed left wing-back. I just don't understand it anymore. Generally, I'm just not understanding it. You got Mainu, who can't be a starter in this team. For me, which is a big, big red flag on this manager. And then, as the game is developing, you think, okay, we're in control, we can go on to maybe take the chances that we're getting and maybe kill the game off. We're allowing teams to build momentum. We're allowing teams to get warm. We're allowing teams to, have a fighting chance. We're allowing teams to believe they can walk away with something. And this pattern is consistent. Again, I've said this multiple times throughout the season. I've said it time after time after time again. We play against teams that we know we're better than, and we struggle. We play against teams we're not expected to win, and we somehow put in either good performances or we get out with the result. Again, West Ham at home. West Ham have been very inconsistent this season. They've had a managerial change. They've been quite poor. Last game, Liverpool, who have been poor themselves, went away and managed to get 3 points. The thing is, when you look at the table, it doesn't look that bad, right? We're sitting in 8th right now. We're on 22 points. But is that where we want this club to be? Is that what we want for this club going forward? Manchester United, we are being now content with that position. When you look at the context, yes, maybe you might argue and say to me, yeah, but if you at the beginning of the season, you might have looked at that and said that's a positive. Yeah, maybe. But given the context of what's happening, the games in which we're essentially dropping points in, home to Everton, 10 men, for over 80 minutes, we've dropped points. West Ham at home, we're dropping points. Brentford, who haven't been the greatest this season, we're dropping points away. Fulham, we're up in the lead, we're dropping points over there. But all the difficult games, we seem to get results. It's those ones where we're expected to win, seem to crumble. But I will touch on the game. But I'm just saying, when you look at the overall picture of this manager, when you look at the facts, you look at the context, and the fact that he's been here for a year now, we know the system he's trying to implement. We've seen the football this team plays. There's a limit to this team. There's a ceiling, unfortunately. And this team, under this manager, cannot compete. That is a fact. Yeah, that is a fact. I don't care what people tell me. This team and the way this manager sets up this team cannot compete. Yes, if you get better players, maybe the performances will improve. You'll get more results. But this team cannot compete with the likes of Arsenal, Manchester City. I don't think they can. I don't think they can. I think there's a limit. There's a ceiling to how much this team can achieve under this manager, and I've seen it. And coming on to the manager, and this is not the first time, by the way. This is a consistent pattern that's been happening since he's arrived. Changing 3 centre backs in a game when you're leading is criminal. I don't care what anyone tells me. I don't care about no tactics. You don't need to be a tactician to know that there is no need to change your 3 centre backs. I don't care. I don't need to be a coach. I don't need to be a UEFA A license B coach, whatever it is, to know that that is ludicrous. That's ridiculous. There's no need for it, 1. 2, you're winning. You're winning the game. It's only 1-0. Rather than go on, make changes that are going to push you to score more goals, you're making defensive changes and you're still conceding. And the problem isn't just this game. It's game to game to game where this manager, he can't keep a consistent back 3. Every game, the starting lineup, it changes. During the game, he makes substitutions, it changes. I don't think this manager, till now, he's been here over a year now, yeah? Most of those defenders he's been with since the start, and he still doesn't know what his starting back 3 is. That's a big red flag, and that's, for me, a big concern up until this point. Generally, that is a big red flag that I think people either are choosing to ignore or are downplay. And I'll be real, as much as, because I do think the players tried today, by the way. I do think the players tried today. It just wasn't good enough. But I do think that this result today is on the manager. It's on his in-game management. His in-game management today, his substitutions, okay, cost us the match. And the fact that we weren't able to see out that game, a game that we were pretty much in control of for majority of that game, that is on the manager today. I don't think it's on the players today, because I do think the players tried. But ultimately, the way the manager is making these changes, okay, during a game that we are comfortable in, that we should be going on to be scoring more goals, so we just kill off the game, it's embarrassing at this point. I'll be honest with you, it's embarrassing. But going on to the lineup, I was actually quite happy with the lineup, to be honest with you. When I saw the lineup, obviously question marks about the changes at the back, but I like Aiden Heaven, who got his start. Managerial and Luke Shaw. I thought, that's a back 3 that should be comfortable enough to deal with West Ham. I looked at the midfield today with Casemiro and Bruno, which is probably our most strongest pairing, which I was fine with. Ahmad, I was happy with. And then, of course, on the opposite side, you have Dalot, which, again, I just don't like seeing a right-footed left wing-back. It's just not making sense for me. So the fact that he didn't start Dorgu, for me, I was a little bit, uneasy about that. And then, of course, the front 3, we had Cunha, Mbeumo, and in 9, we had Xerxes, and I was quite excited to see that, to be honest, because I think that's the first time we've had those 3 starting together. We didn't have it in the last home game when it was Ahmad, Mbeumo, and Xerxes, because obviously Cunha was injured. So it was the first time of seeing those 3 starting together. And I was kind of excited because I thought, maybe, there'll be some link-up play, there'll be some good patterns of play, some good football, essentially. I thought I'll see some fushy ball. But unfortunately, it didn't transpire in that way. There were moments in the game where you could see it, but just not enough for me. Yeah, it was a strong lineup. I was really happy with the lineup. Obviously, Lemen's goal as well. I was super happy with the lineup. And I genuinely thought, coming off the back of that Crystal Palace win, we'll get a really good performance today, and maybe a comfortable one, and maybe one that, kind of eases the pressure a little bit, not just on the players, but also on the manager. But again, it wasn't meant to be. And I know it wasn't a loss today, but generally, that's how I feel. At this moment in time, I feel like today's result is a loss. It's 2 points dropped again. We're just not taking these opportunities, especially at home. We're not taking these opportunities. If had we beaten Everton and had we won today's game, that's 5 points. We're on 27 points. We'll be sitting on level with Aston Villa in third place. So that's where the frustration at the moment is coming from. But it is what it is. And United started off well, of course. Dalot scored the goal. We had a few good moments. Obviously, Bruno hit the post. Xerxes had a chance cleared off the line. But I felt like United had control. West Ham had momentum, but I generally felt like we controlled it. And then once we got the goal, I just thought, yeah, okay, cool. Now we can go on to, maybe score a couple more, see out the game, and then, hopefully collect the 3 points. But of course, United didn't kill off the game, and that obviously gave it an opportunity for West Ham to get back in. And guess what happens? They equalise. Another set piece goal we concede. It's honestly, I'm just getting sick of saying this, man. I'm getting sick and tired of this. I'm just getting sick and tired of the pattern. It's like I'm watching the same game over and over and over again. Honestly, now watching Manchester United, generally it feels like a chore. It feels like someone's telling me to wash the dishes. It feels like someone's telling me to hoover the house. It's like it generally feels like a chore watching this team, because sometimes you're watching it and you can see it. You can see it playing out before it actually happens. And I know there's Manchester United that understand what I'm saying here, but you can see things about to happen before they actually transpire. It's almost like you can predict it happening, and then it happens. And then when it happens, it's like you can't even be that angry, because in your mind you kind of already saw it coming. It's kind of, I don't know. Some people are going to understand where I'm coming from, but that's how I feel. And that's why it's even right now, I'm angry, but I'm like, should I be angry? Should I be angry? Should I not have seen this coming? This is what I've been seeing all season. So yeah, it's just, it's honestly, it's just frustrating for me. It's getting ridiculous. Like, it's just basic stuff, like clear your lines, know who you're marking. Just at least pretend like you know who you're marking. Look like you know who you're marking. Like, it's just getting ridiculous with these set pieces. And again, 83rd minute, we're conceding so late into the game. And that's why I feel like it comes down to the manager, because if you manage the game better, and you set your team up in a way where, they can go on and get that second goal, get that third goal, with the substitutions. And I know there's not a lot of attacking options on the bench, but still, why not bring Mainu, push Bruno further up the pitch? Do you know what I mean? Like, he did that too late. Like, I see Bruno higher up the pitch in like the 92nd or 93rd minute. By that point, it's too late. And it's not even just the set pieces. I also feel like the shape and the system also exposes us out wide, and teams, all they really do is just hurt us on the transition. They let us have the ball, and that's essentially what teams are doing. You see that pattern almost every single game. Team are kind of suss us out. They suss out the way we play. Even when we've made those tweaks previously, or when the manager has made those tweaks, they still suss us out. But for me, it's the bigger picture. This is a game that we didn't need to draw. It's another game that we've thrown away, 2 points that we've gifted away, and these moments add up. These moments add up. We have a couple more games until AFCON, so meaning that we're going to lose Mbuemo, we're going to lose Ama, so this squad is going to get more depleted, it's going to get weaker now. You already see how much we're struggling with those players, because those are good players, Mbuemo and Ahmad. I don't question their talent, I don't question ability. They do make us stronger. Once they go, we are in serious trouble. We are in serious trouble. I'll be honest with you. These moments add up. These drop points, they add pressure. And I'll be honest with you, regardless of if he loses these players, because of what's happened and the amount of points we've dropped and these results as of recent, the race for top 4 is still there, but now it's starting to feel like it's slightly slipping away from us. If we're not able to get top 4 this season, or if we're not able to secure a European spot at the very minimum, there's no way this manager can continue. It's not possible. I don't care what the excuses are. I don't care about time. I don't care about player quality. I don't care about this and that. If he's not able to secure at least a European spot, and even that is me being nice, then unfortunately he needs to go. That's it. It's as simple as that. He needs to go, because given the context of how things are going, given the way we're dropping points and the teams that we're dropping points again, there is no excuses. Because when I look at the players that we have, when I look at this team, when I look at this league and how inconsistent this league has been, and how much the table is chopping and changing all the time, and we're dropping points against teams that we should be beating. There is definitely pressure on this manager to deliver European football for this club next season. And if he doesn't do it, he needs to go. I'm already not convinced about this manager. I'll be so real with you guys, which is why there is no ride or storm. If you've noticed, I don't do no ride or storm with this manager. He hasn't given me anything to ride for. Let's put it that way. And that's why I'm not really fighting his corner. I'm not really fighting his battle. I'm not really fighting his side, because he hasn't given me anything to fight for. That's the reality. You know, I'm not going to fight for something that I don't see. I can't see. It's almost blind faith. I can't see what it is that I'm trying to fight for. You know, so absolutely not. There is no riding for this manager. He has to deliver. And if he doesn't deliver, there's the door. It's as simple as that. Anyway, let me know your thoughts on the game. Honestly, it's just getting ridiculous now. But yeah, let me know your thoughts on the game in the comments, please. What you think about the game, about the results, about the players, about the manager, whatever it is, please make sure to share in the comments. Please also to like, share, and subscribe, my people. Yeah, this is what Manchester United Football Club does to you, man.